White liberals help their new Muslim neighbors move in next door, get sick thank you gift for it. When one liberal family discovered that Syrian refugees were being placed in their neighborhood, they jumped into action. The family put together a generous care package of sorts to welcome their new neighbors. However, the family and other neighbors nearby quickly changed their tune, horrified by how they were repaid. The left has been claiming for years that the refugees that have been entering our country are just seeking acceptance. No matter how many times conservatives warn liberals the true intentions of refugees, it continues to fall on deaf ears. Liberals do not want to accept the fact that Muslims are not ones to assimilate or coexist with anyone not Muslim. Instead of liberals placing facts over emotions, they continue to do whatever they can to appease these barbarians. Though no matter what these liberals do to make these Muslim refugees happy, it always takes a brutal turn. A prime example of this would be what happened to a family in Canada. The Liberal family decided that they would welcome Syrian refugees with open arms in their Hamilton, Ontario neighborhood. This family and many of their neighbors believed all the hype that the media had said about refugees. So, 1 year ago the neighborhood community embraced the Syrian refugees only to be left terrified. Rebel Media's Faith Goldie conducted an interview with a woman who was an eyewitness to the events in the Hamilton neighborhood. Andrea explained how the neighborhood naively accepted the left's propaganda on how wonderful the Syrian refugees were. The neighborhood families all donated money to provide the new family with bicycles, furniture, and garden supplies. However, as the warm feelings of being neighborly quickly subsided after the Syrian family began to assault the local children. Andrea explains that when she was in her home she heard a loud ruckus outside of her home. When she looked outside, that was when she discovered that the Syrian children were hurling stones and bricks at the Canadian children. Andrea then went on to say that she witnessed the eldest of the Syrian children, who is around 16, pick up what appeared to be a shovel and attempt to beat one of the children's father. While that was happening, the other Syrian children were throwing bricks at the Canadian neighbors too. But that is not even the most disturbing part of this entire story. Andrea said that while all this was happening she noticed the Syrian mother hurry outside. Thinking that the Syrian mother was attempting to intervene and bring her children inside, she felt relieved. However, the Syrian mother picked up a brick herself and hurled it at a 13-year-old boy in the scuffle. The young boy managed to escape the violent fray with only a minor injury, but this should have never happened. Faith Goldie interviewed the young boy who was injured and he confirmed that the mother threw the brick. So, when the neighbors called the police about the horrific assault, they were stunned by their response. Even though there were multiple witnesses to this brutal beatdown, the police failed to arrest anyone in the Syrian family. The father of the boy who was injured, who does not want to be named, says that this is not the only time there has been violence. The father and other people in the neighborhood have said that the Syrian children have chased the Canadian children down the alleyway with bricks and hammers. Andrea confirms in the interview that the Syrian children are incredibly violent. She says that they often tear furniture apart and then beat each other with the broken pieces. The father of the victim is so upset by law enforcement's response that he has decided to build a wall around his own home. The victim's father raised his fence and also constructed concrete barricades around his home to protect his children. And, I cannot say that I do not blame him one bit. Goldie wanted to speak to the Syrian family about the violent incident and was shocked by their response. The Syrian family admitted that their children did throw the bricks and stones, but the mother denied being a part of it. However, when Goldie asked what they thought about their current living situation, they chose to complain. In fact, the Syrian father and mother said that they prefer Lebanon and Syria to Canada. Why they do not go back to their perfect home should not come as any surprise. You see, these people are leeches and will live off the taxpayers' money with no problem. If the Canadian government were to cut off their welfare checks, these people will scurry back where they came from.